Good afternoon. It is a Friday. I'm here in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Panel. This time, have another guest. We went East Coast last time with the illustrious John Riley. So I thought we would bring in the West Coast perspective. We have John Riley's counterpart, our Senior Vice President of Sales for the Western part of the country, Mr. Kevin Welling. Kevin, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you taking some time out and coming on.
I appreciate the invite, and I always look forward to these with you. I'll throw out there, like you said earlier, you might throw me some curveballs, so I'm always looking forward to these. Let's see what happens.
My arm's kind of shot these days. I don't know how many curveballs I have left in me. My doctor said I probably should just throw nothing but fastballs at this point, but I do like a nice curve in there. So, Kev, tell our folks, what you are or what you do here, your little bit of your background, how you got into the industry.
Oof, wow. Back in the industry, when I got in, was in the late 90s. At a company called Boxlight. We did a thing on them, like a report during college, and it was something I'd never seen before. I grew up, my parents were high school teachers, so I always thought I was gonna be a high school teacher and a coach, or kind of follow my parents' footsteps. And then this Pro AV stuff was totally different, something that was entertaining and interesting to see. And again, when I first started, 800 by 600 hadn't even come out yet for resolution, and we were still selling the panels and selling on top of the overheads. So I just aged myself a little bit there, but worked my way through, just being in sales through Boxlight. Boxlight created projector wholesale supply, active light, Cinelight. It was fun. You got a new business card and you never moved your desk. So it was entertaining back in the days. And then from Electrograph to Stampede purchased, by Exertis. And now we're here as one big happy family in Exertis Almo.
So you and I know each other from the Stampede days, but I don't know if I've ever told this story before. So I found Stampede. I had worked in the telephony industry. So Stampede actually was a customer of mine. The company I worked for, we sold them we sold them a few T1s. But I remember walking into the office and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. It was a bullpen style, small office, but just flat panels everywhere up in the ceiling. I thought this is the coolest thing. And I ended up working for this company, ended up losing their funding. They're a startup. So I applied at Stampede. And I mean, the people here, continuing from when it went to Exertis and now Exertis Almo, people are great. And I think that's the biggest reason why people stick around here. And what I'm trying to do with this blog series is really trying to talk to people that may not have spent so much time in the industry, try and give them some tips and pointers in terms of what Pro AV is all about, because it's just such a unique, it's really a unicorn when you talk about technology. I mean, people, there's peripheral industries like telecom and whatnot, but there's nothing like Pro AV. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. What advice would you have to somebody just starting out in the industry?
If someone was just starting out that's already been hired, I think the biggest thing is ask questions. Always ask questions. It's one of those, you constantly learning something new. Like the biggest goal, I think, for us, you and myself even, is what can we learn from especially the new people? Because the old dinosaurs we are, sometimes we get set in our ways. But like I just had to do a trip to Vegas. We had a trade show down there, and funny thing is when you get part of this industry, you can't go anywhere without seeing things. So, the big video walls, you're going down the escalator, you see these things and you're like, who hung this? Like everywhere you go is the industry you're in. Everything you see, from the ballparks to whatever it might be, it's all our stuff. And people don't realize how many different, from churches to government to schools, what we touch so many things in so many people's lives. And that's the thing that's fun, and it's always changing.
Yeah, the technology is always something that really kind of drives the train. You and I had a conversation. We were together a few months ago, and you mentioned something I thought might be an interesting thing. As I said, we talked to John Riley last month. What are differences that you see? Because I don't think most people know how much different business operates on the West Coast versus the East Coast. What are your takes? What are some bullets that you could give us about West Coast versus East Coast?
It's interesting. Pre-COVID, there was quite a bit of differences. I think post-COVID, there's not as much. Before, it was very much more, I called it old school mentality for East Coast, sports jackets to suits and ties to always, just everything was almost regimented when it came to different things, especially if you're meeting customers. When it came to the West Coast, it was more of almost like a fly by the seat of your pants, people showing up in jeans, polos and you go to Microsoft, Google, anywhere on the West Coast, and if you showed up in a sports coat, they looked at you like, "What's wrong? You had a cold? Are you sick?
Right.
What are you doing here?" As far as just the communication style too, East Coast. When I first started, I worked East Coast, and so it was very much more of a get to your point, get the conversation done quick. They didn't want to chit chat. Then you move down to the Texas region and you talk business for 5 minutes and then 20 minutes about barbecue sauce. When you're in California, it's kind of the same thing. It's like kids' birthdays, and you talk about so many different things that during COVID, it's kind of changed that whole mentality of get on and off the phone quick on the East Coast. It seems like no matter where, who, what time zone I'm in, everyone's more relaxed. I don't want to use the word relaxed, but that's kind of what it feels like. They learn more families. Going back to what we used to do, if a dog barked in the background, people would freak out. Nowadays, it's like, oh, hey, what kind of dog you got? Oh, then they're picking the dog up and showing you, or the cat's walking across the screen. And the mentality of just almost being more laid back and everyone being a big family is kind of taken over not only our industry, but I believe everything. So
that's true. As my dog is snoring in the background right now. So, and
exactly.
You kind of tipped off our viewers, but I'm going to probably do about a 20-part series on different barbecue sauces at some point. That's going that's really far behind the panel that people don't really talk about, but barbecue sauce, very important part of business this way. One of the things I've always admired about you, Kevin, is your team. I mean, you've put together an incredible team. You got a lot of veteran guys. What are some qualities that you look for when you bring people on the team? What are you trying to find to fill that out?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I'll start back when I first started. I actually have a person, Mick Gilchrist, started day one with me, June 3rd, 1996, and he's still here. You got to think about it. I've been working with him longer than your whole going through high school kind of thing and graduating again from kindergarten. So it's an amazing thing. And Jim Lidwell came in, I believe 3 or 4 months later on, same thing. People have come and gone, like they've tried different parts of industries, or they've tried, like I was still selling only projectors when flat panels came out, and Mick went to that. And so we've all kind of tried different things and always come back together. But as far as the core of the team, it was organic how we built it at the time. But as we build the new parts of the team, it really comes down to the fit. If I jokingly go back to playing football and, my dad being a coach is if I can't bring you in and everyone believes in you and wants to go to war with you, then it's not going to work. I've had some rock stars I've interviewed before, and I'm like, the fit's not going to be good. It just won't work with the team.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean we don't find other positions in the company for them. It's just the team itself. The way I run a team is from the outside looking in, no one knows who runs the team. No one knows who's the person at the top that has to make all the decisions, because I want everyone to make those decisions. A lot of things I do with the young people that start off is, and I watched everybody else kind of do the same thing now is don't come to me with a problem with your customer. Come to me with that problem and what would you like to do about it? What's your solution?
Right. You have a solution.
Yeah. And from that, I learned a lot of things. Like I know what I would like to do, and then I hear their solution. I'm like, actually, that's really good. Or, we mix it up. But I look for people that are just willing to be able to be part of a team, that want to be part of a family, that want to be bigger than just themselves. They want to be part of a whole. And it's always worked well for us. We've had some people we hired that just didn't work out real well. But most of the time, the team, it's fun. It's something that, we have people out on maternity leave right now, and I have people that jumped right in and said, "I will take care of everything while she's gone." So that's something that's always been a thing where team first, and if you can have that mentality, it all kind of takes care of itself.
It's contagious too when the senior people are doing that stuff and leading by example. That trickles down very, very, very naturally. And you guys, like I said, the company itself, we have great people that work here, but especially the West Coast team has always been one that has always kind of thrived and set the bar for everyone else. So kudos to you for what you put together there. Anything big on the Christmas list? What are you hoping for this year?
Time off, relaxing, staying home.
I hear it.
Sometimes I'm playing so much that you forget how everyone's like, "Hey, we're gonna go." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I just want to stay in my own bed." It's like I just want to be at my house. So it's really Christmas for me right now. It's like I always frustrate Chad Harrison. He says no Christmas until Thanksgiving, and I'm playing Christmas music at the end of October. But for me, it's getting all the family together, seeing how much we can eat, put on the sweatpants and have some pumpkin pie and just don't move. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very important. So, well, happy holidays to you, Kevin. I appreciate you coming in. One last thing, my dream goal for Behind the Panel is my dream guest is to at some point have Nature Boy Ric Flair sit in the chair that you're sitting in. So if you know anybody that knows Nature Boy, please don't hesitate to pass that along, pass the word along. We're looking for the Nature Boy to come in here and talk team building, four horsemen, whatever we can do to do that. But that would be on my Christmas list for this year. Would be
we have to make that a team contest. Whoever can get Ric Flair on for you gets some type of prize. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, man, thank you very much. Appreciate it again. Always good to talk to you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thanks, Kevin.
Same to you. Thanks so much.